We all get short of money every now and then, so it's easy to understand why the offer of an interest-free loan from a church would be very attractive. People all over the world have been getting emails claiming to be from this church here in Bedminster and offering them an interest-free loan. But things are not quite what they seem.
People who are down and out often want to think that somebody's out there helping them. And when you're hearing from a church, you're more likely to think, oh, this must be real.
It's someone without a conscience. They don't care for these people or for our good name.
It's said that charity begins at home, but that is the starting place, not the finishing place for that giving.
Giving to the needy has always been a valued Christian virtue. But here at the Bedminster Church of Christ in Bristol, its reputation for generosity is being taken advantage of by an internet con man who's been fleecing people across the globe.
Our prayer and hope is that this deception stops soon.
The church's problems began when it launched its website 4 years ago. It caught the eye of an internet scammer looking for a cover story. The church's real minister, Trevor Williams, and its secretary, Jeff Daniel, have collected scores of emails and letters from people thinking the church is handing out interest-free loans. So let's have a little look at the sort of thing we've been getting. Now, first of all, he uses any number of pseudonyms, doesn't he? What sort of names does he come up with?
Well, here he calls himself Bishop Joseph Arsenault. Elsewhere, he uses the name the Reverend Fabio Lopez.
It's a good name, that, isn't it?
This is a typical application form for a loan.
Apparently.
Is this your church letterhead?
No, nothing to do with us whatsoever. In fact, even the background illustration of a church building isn't ours. It is, in fact, a Baptist church in the United States.
Very nice chapel, but somewhat larger than ours. I'd like to get a hold of the fella and really tell him what I think of him. If I could step outside of my being a minister, I'd like to get him up a corner, really.
So we know the emails are fake, the names are fake, and the fantastic offer definitely fake. So what exactly is in this for the con man? Well, there's certainly one way of finding out, and that's to lure him into trying to scam us. First, I'm going to have to get some advice from the experts.
This particular scam is a strange mix of what they call a 419 scam, which is an advance fee fraud. You have to pay money up front and then you lose that money. But it's also got elements of what they call phishing in it as well. And phishing is basically identity theft, so it's quite a sophisticated fraud.
Email scams are big business, costing the UK economy an estimated £1 billion every year. There's a limit to what local trading standards officers can do to stop them. But there are others who are taking on the scammers. I'm here to meet a man who goes by the internet name of Pezman. He's a scam baiter. That's basically a web surfer who's taken it upon himself to hit back at the scammers by, well, wasting their time and keeping them far too busy to con others. Scam baiters respond to spam emails with their own outrageous cover stories, convincing the scammers to spend time and effort chasing money that's never going to be sent.
If they always think that the money's just out of reach, just one more thing they've got to do for their money, that's the key to baiting. Always keep them thinking the money's coming. If they think that you've gone cold and there's no money or something like that, then they're going to leave you and try and find money from somewhere else.
This is the initial email we got from our bogus minister. What about this says scam to you?
There's some things that jump out the page at you straight away. For example, the phone number here, actually, interestingly, although it's a +44 number, although it starts 70, which means that it's actually not a physical phone in the UK somewhere. That's a non-geographic number that can be diverted anywhere in the world. And, oh yes, look, typically, for some reason, scammers always feel the need to use two first names as their name. Paul Mark in this instance, or Dave Richard, or things like that. It's always slightly different. But the most important thing that you can do is if you check the email header, which is basically a series of information that's stored within an email that you don't normally see, that includes in it the IP addresses of where the emails come from. And if we actually look at it for this email, the original one, where it originally came from, is Nigeria. So this vicar, purporting to be from Bedminster in the southwest of England, is actually sending his emails from Nigeria. Unless he's on a mission out there, then he's obviously telling us porky pies.
Now all I have to do is convince the good Reverend that I'm an easy target, willing to do anything for a loan. To reassure me he is who he says he is, he's sent me his photograph. Well, he looks nice enough, and that's because he is. This is in fact a picture of a real minister. Now, the scammer was silly enough to leave the details of the website he took this photo from embedded in his email. It isn't, in fact, a minister in Bristol, but one in the US of A. The States is in fact a favourite hunting ground of our predatory con man. But he slipped up when his loan offer came into the hands of a local journalist who uses her newspaper column to expose scams.
He was going to offer my editor 100,000 British pounds, which he claimed was approximately $202,350 US dollars. We wanted people to know about this because this was a little bit different from some of the ones that we'd received before. There are people across this country and in the area who have lost, thousands of dollars to scams. You're tapping into that feeling that God will provide, and lo and behold, God has provided.
If the Reverend Paul Mark is to be believed, God is about to provide once again. He's desperate for the church to lend me $50,000. But of course, there's a catch. To get my hands on the loan, I have to send him $440 to cover the delivery company's fee. It looks like it's time to confront him. Today, the Reverend Mark is expecting me to wire the fee into his account. He's tried every trick in the book to avoid meeting me in person, but he has finally agreed to speak to me on the phone. So, let's call him. Well, there you go. That's not a UK dial tone for a start.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, do you have the money right now?
I have the money. I'm doing it now. And I thank you so much. Also, my friend Trevor wants to thank you for the good work you do.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Are you the minister of the Church of Christ on St John's Lane in Bedminster, Bristol? Yes?
Yeah, from the Church of Christ in England.
Ah, well, and did you preach in church this morning?
Okay.
Yes, you did. Oh, well. Because I find that very interesting, you see, because my name's Trevor Williams, and I am the real minister of the Church of Christ on St John's Lane in Bedminster, Bristol. And I've been the minister there for the past 12 years. And I think, sir, that you are a scoundrel, that you are taking money from people, and that you are a liar and a scoundrel. Now, what have you got to say about that?
Okay, which branch do you preach?
What do you mean, which branch? There is only one Church of Christ on St John's Lane in Bedminster, Bristol.
Unbelievable. The con man sticking to his guns no matter what. 10 minutes later, and he's still not backing down. And now he's accusing us of trying to scam him.
Take it easy, you're a minister. You're not talking like a minister. You're saying this afternoon, you're calling me a liar. You don't even know who I am.
You are a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. What you are doing is not fair on poor people from all the way around the world. It's just not fair and it's not right. And I would ask you, seriously, will you please stop this, turn your life around and repent from the wicked things that you are doing?
Well, I don't know if we've managed to stop him scamming anybody in the future, but for today at least we've managed to turn the tables on him. And we've reported the conman's phone number to the service provider's fraud team, and he should soon find himself disconnected. Well, if you've been the victim of an email scam, then I'd like to hear from you. My email address is josie@bbc.co.uk.